Yeah, sorry here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Arnhem checkpoint, playing for today, spawning in the north. We have scoped COH2 straight away locking in elite armor. Facing off against him in the south, we have Hero as the US forces, who's straight away locked in mechanized. In terms of ranks, scoped around 75, Hero around 120 with their respective factions. Slight edge to scope, but he is of course on the north spawn of Arnhem checkpoint, probably the most lopsided spawn alongside north side of road to Kharkov that is possible to have in this game. So you know, he's got the ranking edge, but they spawn handicap in a big way. Well, we have Hero coming in with a WC-51 as his third unit. I've seen people go for it as their first unit, send out to cap. Looks like maybe he wants some combat power on the field early. And getting control of this building early on as well. Very important you don't lose this at the south spawn. Your opponent can come down here, cut off your munitions quite easily. The Echelons jump into the building. Sternpine is closing in. There's only one window on this side. Be their best bet, but they're taking a lot of damage crossing the road there. Now they're onto the right side. I think they should be able to win, but it may depend on model drops. Riflemen cycling through the buildings. Opportunity is much more suited to these kind of long-range heavy cover to heavy cover engagements. The Echelon jump out of the building, jump back in. Got a peekaboo there, waiting for a squad of rifles to come and support. Could actually lose his re-echelons here, jumping out a little bit late. He wants to maintain control of the house. Ooh, this is risky. Jumps in the building. Let's get any more damage in. Brings in another squad of Volksgrenadiers. And going with the tightrope approved build order for elite armor here. 3 Volks into tech truck into 221. This is the smoothest build order I've found. You know, I've missed things in the past for sure with my build orders. I remember one time actually it was Loveness who was using tank hunter tactics as Soviets, and he'd make 2 squads of penals. Whereas I was just trying to do it all on conscript power, and that was actually a big improvement to the build. Bring down the tech truck now. Actually a very smooth start for scoped. Can be hard sometimes to only play the early game with 3 Volksgrenadiers, but you know, having those long-range building fights and his Doom Pioneers having a pretty effective opening really helped him out. Hero kind of struggling on this map so far. Hasn't really made that good use of the WC-51 either, and that's going to get outscaled as soon as the 221 hits the 223 upgrades. WC-51 is going to be largely irrelevant. Looks like he's trying to bait him over the shoe mine here. Most players also going for this mechanized type strategy. Try to get a cavalry rifleman as early as possible. Cavalry rifleman inside the WC-51, extremely effective at wiping squads on retreat. I'm not seeing that from Hero here, which I think is perhaps a mistake. This WC-51 does, it's like a very early game focus unit, so should try and maximize. Ooh, slightly retreat. Oh, he just completely forgot about that. The echelon down. So is Scope going to transition into a flak half track? This is interesting. But the problem with the flak half track on this map is that the flak half track is pretty bad against units inside buildings. Which is really going to help you in that department. That it's a big obstacle on this map specifically. Looks like Hero getting a 50 cal now. He's gone Lieutenant Tech, and I imagine I'm going to see a Stuart from him once he hits the required amount of fuel. Finally gets onto the cutoff. First maneuver so far. There's a tricky retreat path though over the shoe mine. Could end up losing the squad because of it. Nope. That's it right there. And because Scope did go for the flak half track, actually didn't get the 223 upgrade here. So still a bit vulnerable. 50 cal upgrade on the WC-51. Really needs that armor bonus of the 223 upgrades to assist, but here comes the flak half track. WC-51 pulls back. Cal in the church now. That's going to be really hard for Scope to deal with. Can even fight stuff like the flak half track very effectively. Uses the marked target from WC. Activated the AP ammo a little bit late. Didn't end up getting basically any 50 cal damage in there because of it. Down goes the marked vehicle plane. How much does that cost? 40. But yeah, you do have to activate those armor-piercing rounds a little bit early, as the crew needs to switch ammunition, which does take a little bit of time. If you'd done it a little bit earlier, you might have even killed flak half track with the marked vehicle activated as well. Scope has got onto the cutoff here from Hero. Finally getting forced back. Flak half track coming in again. A little bit late to switch targets. It's bringing in squads from multiple angles. Needs to jump into this building to help. There's that squad. Okay, we got a Rakit in here for Scope. Good idea if you're running two light vehicles like this. Stuart could hit the field at any second, so you do need to be prepared. And here it comes. There's the kitten sitting up over here. That's a right position. Squad did get onto the fuel here briefly. Don't think he's going to be able to completely neutralize though. Oh, this is that bazooka as well. That's a bad start. Does stick around for neutralize. Will he escape alive though? Oh, this is a dicey one. Here comes the Stuart, but that's going to hit the Rakitten. Kitten is unsupported right here though. Stuart probably should have stayed right on top of the Rakit and tried to decrew it while I was on the negative cover there. Tried to get the white, but decided to pull back. It's like not quite aggressive enough there. Very deep into enemy territory with that squad neutralizing the munitions. Well, another cut off here from Scoped. So cut off from here.
Our supply line just got cut off.
MG34 coming in for Scoped as well as another Rakit, and we do have Hero going for another 50 cal. 250 cals on this map is a pretty good idea. There's plenty of buildings for them to hide in. At the moment, Scoped, doesn't have a tree support gun to deal with them. Might be kicking himself. Having not built one. Oh, this could be the end of the Stuart. No. Gets out of raketing range just in the nick of time. That's one thing about Hero. Seems to be very conservative with his light vehicle play. He kind of like tries to go for a dive and outmaneuver. Just okay. I took one shot. I'm going to pull back. WC-51 is still valuable, forcing away squads on the flanks and capping his cutoff. Acting as a slower to cap Kubel. Ooh! Main gun destroyed on the flak half track. Gets out of there though. Still no 223 upgrade. So 221 is starting to fall off pretty sharply now. Oh, could even go down to this 50 cal here. Yeah, that was some bad pathing coming through the middle there, but overall, really should have had the 223 upgrade by this stage. Could even have considered just parking it on a point as well. It's quite tricky to micro two light vehicles. And now the flak half track in trouble. Stuart going hunting. One raket and kind of getting its shots blocked. Half track gets out though. But overall, a big push here from Hero. Basically forcing Scoped entirely off the battlefield. Scoped going for the double raketance, but not getting the payoff. No kills on the Stuart, and not even containing it well either. To work on his raket positioning a little bit. One thing when going for this elite armor kind of play, at least not getting the flak half track style, is you generally do rely on getting your tier 4 tech up and putting it in a somewhat relevant position at least, that it can help defend your territory. Generally against like a T70 is the main culprit that you need to defend against. So it's one thing to keep in mind. You of course can get a tremendous amount of fuel if you get like a good start with 221, does some good damage. And then if you transition it into the resource mode, you can really stack up some fuel very quickly. Now getting his truck out. Oh, AT grenade did go off. Stuart. Oh, back in base still hasn't completed repairs yet. But Scoped is starting to struggle against Hero here. And not having that extra squad Fox does make things quite tricky. Feel like you're losing control, and those 50 cals so effective at locking down territory. It does have quite a lot of manpower floating. This is usually a time where you want a squad of obers or an infantry support gun. I definitely think he should have built an infantry support gun by now. Oh, truck looks like it was about to set up for tech, but Hero finds it. There's the Rakins at. There they are, both next to each other. And this could be the end. No, this one has to pack up and set up once again, and the Stuart just gets out of there. He's going to retreat that one back for healing.
Anti-tank rockets on the field.
Set it up behind this line of sight blocker here. Not going to defend too much from that position, but better than getting found. third Raketin for scoped. I can't agree with this. Definitely that's a mistake. 2 Raketins should be enough to carry you into the period even when your opponent has a Sherman on the field. So just being up against a Stuart and the W251, you shouldn't need 3 Raketins. Remember, this building doesn't have any windows from this angle, so...
The command vehicle has gone static. HQ operations now
Can't really
underway.
fight that effectively from it. Seems like the North Spawn's starting to catch up with Scope now, really struggling to maintain territory control. I think he really needs to just focus on coming out onto this left-hand side with his entire army instead of branching out to both sides of the map.
Resource sector has been cut off from our supply chain.
So Stuart's going to try come in for the kill here. Right, vehicle on the flank half track. Again, looks like it was just on right click. Could manually set it up. Oh, but the Schwer actually takes down the Stuart. Hero is so cautious with the Stuart up until this point. Finally throws it in there.
Support gun ready for action.
Ooh. Okay, there was a Volksradia inside that building, but it looks like they got out not too long ago. So that's good news. That would have been an absolute disaster. So Scope in this position. Okay, he's finally got an infantry support gun. It's way overdue. And he does have a lot of Raketins, so should be able to deal with pressure from this Sherman. It looks like it's actually going to be 76mm Sherman. So I think that's a mistake from Hero. Not trying to capitalize on his map control, going for HE Sherman. Goes to WC51. Instead going for, you know, the 76mm, which is much more focused on anti-tank duties. Hero should definitely be using the regular Sherman on high explosive, try and finish Scoped off here. What he could do is try and shoot this with his Raketin, try to get rid of this heavy cover here. Here's the 76mm. Overs in production for Scoped. He's managed to branch out somewhat to this left-hand side. Secured his fuel at the very least, but he's draining fast on the VPs. 176 remaining. Kittens are definitely something he should be working on. And here they come, springing into action now. So they're just right-click targeting. 76mm. Re-echelon's going to see those coming from a mile away. 76mm evading very easily here. Oh, but re-echelons stay in the building and die. He actually rebuilt his re-echelons, right? They died earlier in the match. It's a little bit unusual. So he didn't even upgrade them with the minesweepers. Half track getting out. So coming along to the left. Raketin's gonna try rotate around.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Squad. Down on. Not sure. Here we go. 76mm takes care of the flak half track. Oh, there's this squad over here that went down. As long as Scope can stabilize the VPs now, he's not in a bad position. Couple squad wipes for Hero, sitting back a long way, and now his 50 counts can't just camp in the building next to this way overdue infantry support gun.
We're losing a capture point.
One thing that I've actually been using sometimes against opponents who have been maxim spamming me is double infantry support guns, because I found this is specifically against maxims and generally out in the open. One infantry support gun just doesn't apply enough pressure. At two, you can actually risk wiping them quite easily.
The capture point is under attack.
Okay, in comes some major artillery going after the infantry support gun here. So Scope didn't notice. Scatter not too bad so far.
A capture point is under attack.
Doesn't have the extra shells from Vet 2, so infantry support gun does survive. Looks like all three Rakitans retreated there. 6mm, just about ready to roll again.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
Scope finally just about has the fuel for the Panzer IV. Just 3 to go. And one of the big benefits of using this commander is, of course, the heat shells. I believe it's plus 30% penetration and damage. One of the real benefits of the heat shells is that it allows the Panzer IV to two-hit 400 health vehicles, so things like T-70, Su-76, Stuart. Panzer IV can two-hit with the heat shells activated, makes it very strong against Soviet Tier 3. One of the real benefits of using this commander. Plus the heat rounds also give your Panzer IV game against the more heavily armoured targets such as 76mm Shermans, Comets, not really heavy tanks, but a little bit more against heavy tanks frontally, but nothing to brag about.
Capture point is being overrun.
Double 76mm now. Ooh, and the Obers go down quick. Looks like Hero trying to set up triple caps, trying to drain out scopes, but the Panzer IV is on the field and there are a lot of Rakitans. One thing I've noticed, he doesn't seem to be using these on camouflage that often.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
So I believe Hero's been kind of scouting the locations of them very easily.
We're losing a capture point.
Evading them accordingly, especially on this map where there's so many buildings that provide super long line of sight. Very important to use the camouflage on your Rakitans trying to ambush the enemy tanks. What is he doing with this? Oh man, rifleman might go down here.
Supply line just got cut off.
76mm are here. Looks like they're both still using the regular rounds. Not the armor piercing yet. Shermans make a lot of noise, don't they? Must be all that horsepower from those powerful engines.
Krauts are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured. Supply line just got cut off. The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Here comes a major recon pass, I believe, which is nice. Underutilized ability. Scouting the way forwards, and now the P4 in trouble here. 76mm looks like they have switched over to the HVAC Browns. And down goes the P4 really quickly. Huge assault. Well done by Hero. Forced off the Rakitans. Ooh, huge bundle grenade. Lieutenant down. Sherman still on armor piercing, so not super effective against infantry. basically need a direct hit, which they can. I mean, they're pretty accurate, so they can get those direct hits, but AoE damage is not that strong. So yeah, that P4 went down really quickly. Very risky to leave it anywhere near the front on half health with two
The capture point is being overrun.
almost,
Rear echelon
tank
troops on the
destroyers.
front
So
line.
these things are basically built to fight P4s. And they have the high velocity armor piercing rounds activated.
Rear echelon squad ready for action.
Ooh, but 50 cal goes down. That's a good
Gun
win.
crew just got wiped out.
I didn't really notice it, but Scope did lose his MG34 at some stage.
Rear echelon troops on the front line.
So he's going to salvage that. I think that's a mistake. Setting it up on... Oh, there it is. Setting up on a VP to try and camp the victory points would be really nice. Hero here going for a extremely unusual strategy. 3 rear echelon. Can't think of any reason why you'd want to make 3 rear echelon right here.
We're losing a capture
Not
point.
upgraded any of them with the sweepers either, so far that I can see. Maybe he wants super fast repairs on his tanks. I can see 2. I can see 2, but 3 is a real stretch. Looks like he's back to the regular rounds now. Machine gun goes down, so Hero just opening the door back for scopes. Throwing away his 250 cals for free and now using rear echelon instead of rifleman. Yeah, he's going in. Rear echelon. I mean, Raketans have been spotted. Let's see if his micro is strong enough. Around the building. Raketans also not being used too effectively. And one of them goes down.
We just lost a unit.
And rear echelon go down. 2 rear echelon go down. Did he just lose all of his rear
Capture
echelon?
point is under attack.
He had 3 of them, right? What the hell? Hero, what are you doing, man? Yep. He definitely did lose that many rear echelon squads. Still got the 76mm Shermans. Oh, but one of them takes a Faust here. Rear armor exposed. The Panzer IV. Chasing down the road here. Before not using the heat rounds here, slight mistake. Getting the penetrations anyway. And one of the Shermans goes down there. Raketten being brought up in support. P4 gets another lucky hit in there. One more and it gets the kill. Gets the kill. One more 76mm fresh on the field though. Misses that shot. Could this be the end of the 76mm? Bounces another shot. Rifleman coming over for a T-grenade, but that's not going to get the kill. And 76mm without the machine gun upgrade, not very effective against infantry. Oh, he needs to stay mobile. Raketten setting up for another shot. Oh, he just didn't get it off. Raketten's gonna jump into the building here. Not a bad idea, but is it getting a little bit low? No, he's just running around the other side. Where is he? What's he doing? He gets. Oh man, he gets in the building now. Might be a little bit late. Right, vehicle? No, that's hold fire. Sherman trying to disappear more quickly, I guess. Before pulling back, does have access to the emergency repairs in this commander as well. Important to remember, once you've been out of combat for a little bit, you can pop that. Okay, we're getting out of there, good idea. EP's super low for scope, 36, finally getting one under his control now on this left hand side, but he's dangerously low. Hero also floating a little bit too much manpower right here. Just managed to steal one of these Raketens, which could be very helpful in dealing with the Panzer IV. Now that he doesn't have the numbers advantage in terms of the armor. It's also very light on infantry after losing all of those re-echelon. So it's kind of struggling in multiple departments here. Should be getting overwhelmed by the infantry and by the vehicles. But he does have the VPs on side, plenty of time to rebuild his army. As you can see here, 46 versus 64, that's a pretty big disadvantage. P4 has been out of commission for a long time though, which is giving us 76mm time to work. In this scenario, it might be worth just leaving this on armor-piercing rounds the whole time, because if he ever does need to square off against the Panzer IV, having to switch rounds could be the death of him in head-to-head fight. I think the Panzer IV will win, especially if he uses the heat rounds on it. Guarantees the penetrations. Would it guarantee? Very close to, at least. Good hit in there. Didn't quite get close enough for the Faust. Oh, that's a stolen MG34 actually in the building, but the ISG still working well. 25 VPs. Raketens forcing back the 76mm here. Machine gun in the building goes down for Hero. Coming into the middle now. There's the stolen Raketen back at base. Oh, Lieutenant goes down. Hero just super careless with his squads.
We're losing a capture point.
In a good position to hold off. So he's going to try to use the 76mm to force away these obers. Very risky. Ooh, cavalry riflemen also go down in the middle.
We lost an infantry unit. They got
Hero seems to really run out of micro in the last 10 minutes. Here comes the P4. This is perfect time for heat rounds. Doesn't even need it. Main gun destroyed on the first hit. That's just that. Trying to use critical repair, but there goes the Sherman. Raketen came over here, but it's too late. P4's already done the damage. Now 2 squads of obers against a very minor army of infantry. Scope should be able to run away with this one. Very important, he doesn't lose control of the VPs though. This is where machine guns really come in handy. He's probably actually just going to go for another Panzer IV. Which is equally nice. Push 76mm for Hero. Only needs to drain 14 VPs. It's one of those scenarios where you can either try hunker down, try build your army back up, or you can go for all-in push and hope to catch your opponent off guard, drain off those last 15 VPs.
The capture point is being overrun.
Okay, Rakuten got forced away over there.
Points are down to 300.
Where's he going with this? He's going after the Panzer IV. Doesn't find it. It's Rakuten over here. Oh, well, this could be bad news if he takes a Rakuten shot. Yeah, he does. Fox Grenadiers could Faust.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture
He's in
points.
for a little bit of a squish. There's two of them. Slows down the Faust momentarily. Once again, no emergency repairs from Scoped. Basically, he hasn't used anything from this commander except for the 221.
Our supply
And
line
that's
is
something he
cut.
needs
Germans are making a push.
to work on, making use of the heat rounds.
Krauts are taking one
You
of
don't
our
have to
points.
use that Panzer Commander by any means. But heat rounds and emergency repairs are two of the key elements in this commander. So if you're not using them,
Truck, ready for action.
probably overall wouldn't recommend using it.
The lieutenant has been assigned to field ops.
Okay. Sherman back up and back down. Straight away he gets hit by the Rakuten. So he's coming in for some kind of crush maneuver. Very half-baked assaults.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
And there it goes. Straight away dead. And Hero throws in the towel. Oh boy. Not the cleanest of games here. Hero had this well in hand. And just threw it away completely. Squad preservation was abysmal. Basically lost all his machine guns for three echelons. I didn't even catch it on camera, but it must have been tough to lose three of them like right away. And yes, really reckless with his armor. As for Scoped, didn't make very much use of Elite Armor Commander. Really need to get the 223 upgrade, otherwise 221 is just not very useful, especially when there are loads of 50 cows on the field. Just doesn't have enough armor to fight effectively. And yeah, needs to make use of things like the emergency repairs and the heat rounds, especially in these like medium tank versus medium tank fights. That bonus bit of penetration really helps, even if the bonus damage doesn't. Anyway guys, I'll wrap on that. If you'd like your game to be cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise I'll catch you off next throwing installment. Goodbye and good luck.